Hey, good morning, John. How you doing? Yes, good morning out here. Yeah, the sun's kind of bright, huh? Yes, sir. You take care now. Hey, Sister Odell, how you doing, ma'am? I see you out there working that garden, getting ready for that spring gardening, huh? Yeah, you're looking good. Mm-hmm. Sister Odell knows she's fine, man. She make an old man humble and a young man weak. How you doing, Pastor? Yeah, I'll be at church on Sunday. Yes, sir. It was a good service last week. I appreciate you. What's up, man? Why you not already outside with my cup of coffee?
Oh, hold your horses, old man. Now, look, it's only 5 minutes to 8. You early today, all right?
No, you just running behind.
While I go in here and get our coffee. I'll be right back.
All right then. Ooh, nice little walk.
Morning, Joe.
Hey, good morning, Betty. How you doing?
I'm fine, and you?
Doing mighty good, thank you. Now, I thought you were going to be out of town with the Kane family on their annual trip to Acapulco.
Oh, no, not this time. They said that they weren't going to stay in a place long enough for me to properly cook their food, so they just suggested that I stay behind and go to the home a few times a week and cook for the staff. Can I get you something to eat? I'm about to make breakfast for Alvin, and I know a widowed man like yourself hasn't had a decent rounded meal in a while with bacon and sausage, fresh eggs, grits, waffles.
Girl, not the grits, girl. Ooh, no, ma'am, I'm fine, thank you. I'm fine. You know, I just had my meager breakfast a few minutes ago, but only a foolish man would turn down such a feast and prepare about a leader chef like yourself. But I would like to take a rain check on it offer, though. Yes,
well,
ma'am.
I will hold you to that next time.
All right. I appreciate that.
Is that OC coming this way? She's a divorcee, you know, and has a good job with the Caruth family.
Do tell.
And the cooked food she cooks for us, oh, those church folks, we talk about it because it is out of sight.
Glory, hallelujah.
And she's a church-going, fearing woman, and is a gifted voice in the church choir.
Like an angel, huh? Yes,
You know,
ma'am.
I think she would be the perfect companion for such a nice widowed man like yourself.
You reckon so?
I do. Well, I have to go fix breakfast for my husband. You tell OC I said hello, and I'll catch up with her at the prayer meeting tomorrow.
I definitely will.
Okay.
Well, good morning, Miss Olsen. You sure looking mighty extra fine to be going to do some housework for some old white folks.
Now, Joe Earl Johnson, you know you ain't never seen me no kind of way going down the street. No different than any other church-going, respectable colored woman going to work or to church.
Uh-huh.
Hey,
Lord.
hey, good morning, Miss Olsen.
Oh, good morning.
Yeah, can I get a cup of coffee for you?
Oh, no. You're too kind, Brother Frazier. No, I got to get on to work. Don't want to be late, you know. Oh, Lord, that white woman, Miss Maybelle, gets riled up the whole day when I'm a little bit late. But you can get a muzzle for that old, fresh buzzard on your yard.
Joe, haven't I told you about getting fresh with my neighbors?
They's my neighbor, too.
Only when they're in front of your house, not mine.
Besides, your wife wanted me to give her a message.
Oh, yeah, what's that?
Oh, she was saying that she wanted me to tell OC that she's going to expect her to bring one of her special dishes down at the next church. So, ooh-wee. I can tell she's sure sweet on me. Man, did you see how she moved her hips and looked back as she walked on?
No, you must don't know the news on that. Now, her daughter told my wife at the church meeting last week that she didn't want to work it no more because she got the A in her hip.
The A?
The A, as in Arthur. Arthritis, man. That's why she's walking like that.
Well, then you see, I could tell. Yeah, she's looking back at me because she wants me to rub that old arthritis out and fine hip. That's what she wants. Now, what's in this photo book, bro?
Yeah, I want to show you a few people from my special collection of photography from back in the day. See if you recognize some of the shakers and makers around here in Dallas back in the day.
Yeah, I'm sure. Go ahead and show what you got, man. I'm sure I know all of the pretty little shakers.
All right, look, take a look at this article right
Hey, man, go ahead and read it for me. I left my glasses at home.
Joe, can you read? I mean, I ain't never seen you wearing any reading glasses or nothing.
Man, of course I can read. I was the head of my class at the Booker T. Winning all kinds of awards for the English department. I'm just having a little problem with my cataracts right now, and I need to go get it checked out.
All right.
So just read it for me, man.
All right, well, it says right here that an article written by Julia Scott Reed that Frank Otis Boykins, a Booker T. Washington alum, invented the IBM computer.
What you say?
Those resistors for missiles,
Uh-huh.
and that pacemaker outfit people wearing now.
What?
Joe, you all right?
Man, I got one of those pacemakers put back in when I was back in Chicago a few years ago, when I started having heart problems.
I thought you was having a heart attack, man.
No, man. I was just shocked to hear that a Negro inventor went to Booker T. And I'm living right here with one of his inventions inside me.
Well, not only that, he and his family just live right over there, 2 doors down the street on Lego.
Showed up.
Yeah, what? How you went all the way to Chicago to get your operation when we had some of the best doctors right here in Dallas? Dr. Pinkston, Dr. Jordan, Dr. Ward, a whole army of doctors all over South Dallas and over there off of State Thomas.
Yeah. Well, I did ask around, but the Negro doctors at that time didn't have the training or the equipment to do the job. And man, I sure wish one of those doctors you had mentioned, but they had all seen better days. They were all too old. They were about ready to retire, already retired. I mean, some of them just dead.
Yeah, well, yeah, hey, look, time sure moves fast. I didn't think about that. Yeah, that's something living in the past. It seemed like just yesterday they was going around here troubleshooting, taking care of the elderly and the newly born and the wounded. Seemed like the whole neighborhood, it seemed. But all that is past and gone. Even Dr. McMillan's sanatorium is gone. It used to be right on the corner of State and Hall.
What you say?
Yeah. Did you know that Hickman fella? They used to run the Kansas City Call right off of State Street.
Yep, I sure do. He would print the Dallas stories and send them to Kansas City to all the Negroes who had left Dallas so they could read about what was going on right here in Dallas.
That's right. Yeah, that was his side job, to carry him through just in case the picture-taking business got slow.
Yeah, smart man.
Yeah. They got some nice new apartments in that little area where that office used to be. That area over there, that whole area has changed so. I don't even know where I'm at when I'm over there. Now I go to turn down to where the street should be, and I'm headed right into somebody's front door, man.
Imagine that. Man, things have really changed around there, huh?
Yeah, man,
Wow.
it done changed a lot. Oh, look at this guy. You remember him?
Yeah, I know him. That's old Ernie Banks.
Yeah.
Ooh, I remember him well. You know, he had all the ladies just swoon over old Ernie.
Oh, Ernie.
Man, I was just a little jealous of him when we were back in school because he had all the attention from the girls. Now, you know what they say about old Ernie, right?
What's that?
You sure know how to swing that back. You know what I'm talking about.
Hey man, who's that cat coming down? I don't know, but it sounds to me like they'll put him out on the ball. You'll have yourself a ball.
Yeah, that's me in Elvis' picture book. Only 333 men have ever been inducted into Baseball Hall of Fame, and I'm the only one from Dallas. But they say some kid from Colleyville, some kid named Bobby Wee Jr. from Colleyville might be better than me. Don't believe that. This is where it all started for me. Playing football, basketball, and running track for legendary coach Raymond E. Holly at Booker T. right over there on Floyd Street. Yeah, man. The Mighty Bulldogs. Now, I know it's unbelievable, but we didn't have a baseball team at Booker T. So I played semi-professional during the summer with my old friend Bill Blair. Now, my first loves were football and basketball. I averaged 20 points a game in basketball, and most people don't know this, but I even played for the Harlem Globetrotters for a while. Oh, we won the state football championship in 1946. We would have won another state championship in 1949 for Coach Holly, too. We played a big game every year in the Cotton Bowl on Negro Fair Day in front of 20,000 folks. I made the biggest catch of my high school career during a crucial point in that game. 20,000 people agreed it was one of the greatest catches ever seen. But the referee disagreed and called me out of bounds. Lincoln ended up winning that game and the state championship that year. But Rabbit Thomas and Choo Choo Brackets and all those other dudes from Lincoln, they know I caught that ball. It always frustrates me that I'm so well known in Chicago, but most young folks in Dallas don't know anything about me. I guess part of that might be my own fault, because I didn't come back that much given how hard it was growing up for a young black man. But far too many of us were limited with little opportunities, and some of us even went to prison. Now look, I don't mean to brag, but I was the first black player for the Chicago Cubs. I hit 512 home runs, won back-to-back MVPs in the major leagues, was selected an All-Star 13 times. I was inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame on the first ballot, and most people consider me to be the best shortstop to ever play the game. Woo-hoo. I'm a bad dude. Now, I grew up with 11 brothers and sisters in a poor section of North Dallas. Some black folks had a little money, but we didn't. Shoot, when I graduated in 1950, we didn't even have indoor plumbing. But my mother, Essie Banks, took us around the corner every Sunday to St. Paul A&M to keep us on the straight and narrow. And my daddy, Eddie Banks, made sure he taught all his boys how to work our butts off. Anyway, I was always the type of guy to let bygones be bygones. I never rocked the boat, never talked too much. I just did my job the best that I could. That's just the way I was raised. Once you had to pick cotton just to afford your school clothes, you see then that complaining too much won't get you nowhere. As I reflect on my life, I love the community where I grew up. Dr. Patton was one of the best principals that anyone could ever want. He taught us our black history when no one else would teach it to us. And although I was just an average student, we had some of the best teachers in America at Booker T. So yes, all in all, I'm proud of where I come from. Y'all take care.
I don't know, but it sounds to me like that whipping man with the ball. Sure have himself a ball.
Yeah. Old Ernie was something else.
Yes, he was, man. Yes, he was.
He was younger than us. I think he graduated from Booker T in 1950-something. I never seen or heard tell of him after he graduated. Later on, I heard a lot about him. What he was doing down there, out there in Chicago, playing pro baseball. Yeah, Ernie Banks.
Yeah, it was true about a lot of our young and gifted athletics back then. Many of our ambitious fellas that could get out of Dallas did so as quick as they could because of all those crazy Klansmen and crackers around here shooting and bombing and harassing Negroes and killing Negroes on sight. Many of our people were mistreated less than you would an animal back then. I used to hate that I didn't get out of town like Ernie and the rest of them did. But I don't blame the one bit. See, I got married, and once I got married, I couldn't break free of Dallas. Between work, wife, taking care of an elderly family and an elderly parents, I just couldn't shake Dallas at all. Man, it was hard. dealing with all the discrimination stuff and segregation stuff that we have to deal with everywhere we went.
Yeah, it was hard for the Negro man here in Dallas, and really all around the nation. But only half our stories have really been told.
That's right.
Now, here's a good article right here. Yeah. I did the photo shoot for this trial.
Trial? What trial was that?
Hon, your breakfast is ready. Come on in and eat before it gets cold.
All right, I'll be right there, huh? Look, I want to show you this last picture. You remember her. Joe, you need to hurry up and see a doctor about the cataracts, man. Hey, mighty funny you didn't have no trouble seeing Osie's hip movement.
That's because her hip movement knows how to relax my eyes. It looks like Thelma Banks.
Banks?
No, that wasn't
No. Look again. Look
it.
again.
Her name was Thelma. Oh, Miss Thelma Page was her name.
Yeah.
Back when
that's
we were in
right.
school. And around about 1943, when they allowed teachers to get married, she went on and married that Richardson fellow. I remember her.
Miss
She
Page.
taught between Booker T and Lincoln. That was around the time they split us up. You know, most of us stayed here at Booker T, and the others went over there to do Lincoln High School. Yeah, she would teach 2 days at Lincoln and 2 days at Booker T.
That's right. Yeah.
On that fifth day, I don't know where she taught or where she was, you know. I remember she taught French and Spanish.
Yeah.
Man, I could really appreciate all that teachers had to go through back then to make sure we bounced up to something. Now, what kind of trouble she could have gotten into that would land her in a trial?
Well, she really wasn't in any trouble at all. And she really never had, they never had to go to trial. Let me back this story up a bit. All right, now, a group of sharp young attorneys back in that time were trying to get better and equal pay. Our colored teachers were making $500 less a year than the white teachers.
What'd you say?
Yeah, man, that had been going on for years. And that group of attorneys had gone to court and lost their cases. They were trying to get our teachers equal pay.
How long did he get away with that?
I guess they would have, had it not been for Ms. Page and that group of attorneys. All right, now here's what happened. Now, they had gone to court, you know, and lost their cases one after the other. Then they talked to that big man up in Washington, D.C. named Attorney Thurgood Marshall. And they came up with a plan. Now, each time they went to court, they took with them, you know, well, he advised them, first of all, the only way to beat the white man was to learn how to play their game. Going to court, they had to take with them a colored teacher that had been better grades and graduate degrees than most of the white teachers. And each time, after each hearing, it all came out with the same response, that the colored teacher was not qualified, is what they said. Yeah, they said that she had been educated, or he had been educated in a Negro college. And therefore they had an inferior degree, an inferior education. All right, and they insisted that no colored teacher would be paid a salary equal to that of any white teacher at all.
Man, you got to be kidding me. Most of our teachers back then were the most smart and intelligent teachers we had around, anywhere.
Yeah.
Man, so you telling me this is what they went through while they were teaching us, making sure we felt like we were the best and the greatest students they'd ever seen?
Yeah.
Come on now, you got to be joking.
No, well, I didn't know any of this either until after I was out of school and came back from the war. But that's only half the story. That's not where the story ends. And wait till you see this next picture that I got. Yeah. Now, I took this picture at a hearing they had over there at the school administration building on Ross Avenue. Right? Our colored teachers have been making, like I said, $500 less a year. Now, that group of attorneys had to get together and come up with a plan, a different kind of strategy. And here's what they decided to do. Now, they had to find a teacher who had not been educated in a Negro college. And that's where Miss Page came in. Right, you see? They presented their idea to her, and she was more than happy, more than willing to accept the challenge. They told her they'd give her a job at Bishop College and financial support from the churches if the ISD was to try to fire her for filing a lawsuit, right? I then made an appointment for the next school board meeting, and they went back to the ISD headquarters with Miss Page, petition and court papers in hand, right? Now, that president of the school board looked around the meeting room, and he noticed that there was an unusual amount of colored teachers and parents sitting and standing all around this segregated auditorium. Only a few seats were empty in the white section, right? I guess the white people didn't get the memo, or they didn't know what was about to go down.
Yeah, they missed that train, huh?
All right, now they presented their case by stating to the school board and informing them that Miss Page was from Colorado and had been educated in an integrated public school system and an integrated college. Oh man, I snapped a picture of that superintendent just as that group of attorneys informed him of their intent to take Miss Page's case to the Supreme Court if she and others didn't get equal pay. And the rest is history.
Oh man, come on, tell me, what finally happened? How did it turn out?
Oh, there was silence for a whole month. Right before the next school board meeting. And then, to avoid a very costly and valid lawsuit, the superintendent and the president of the school board came out and announced that all of the colored teachers and administrators will receive equal pay immediately upon their next check. That's what happened.
That's good, man. That's good.
All right, now I never shown this next picture to anyone other than my Betty Boop.
Okay.
But let me show you. Here's the look on that superintendent's face just before he slammed the gavel down and stormed out the room.
Man, look at that red face, man. He's red as a beach.
Oh, man.
That rascal was something else.
That group of attorneys threatened to hit the school district with a serious discrimination lawsuit under his watch. Oh, he knew that would have been the end of his career. Yeah. He was fit to be tied.
I knew he was. Whoa, now. Flashbacks, man. Flashbacks.
Hey, man. Hey, look, don't forget. Come back here at 6 o'clock tonight for our Friday night get-together.
Man, I wouldn't miss it for nothing, all right? We'll go on and try to recover these stories we just told me. Man, it's kind of not often that you hear a story that's sad and funny at the same time.
You know what they call that? Poetic justice.
Man, our people were something else.
Elvin, I overheard you speaking about Joe's eyesight, and I have a secret to tell you about him.
What's that?
Joe has what's called dyslexia. He never could read as well as the rest of us boys and girls. Back then, they didn't have a name for it. They just called it scrambled eyes. And now they call it dyslexia. And yes, he was sharp as a whip back then in his classes and didn't let any of that disability stop him none.
So why did he tell me then that he was at the head of his class in English and reciting poetry and whatnot?
He really was ahead of his class in many ways. You know for yourself and heard him just say how big and great our teachers were back when we were in school, and how they insisted that we learn to be better and best than any of them white boys and girls back then. They knew what we were up against in the future, and they wanted us to be better than just ordinary. Now, he never knew that the teachers had asked us girls to help him memorize the lines to his speeches and poems. He thought we wanted to be around him. and that, and we never let on to what we were doing. And the teachers knew that the boys wouldn't have the patience to give him what he needed. So, yeah, they were teaching us how to be good helpmates to our fellow man and how to support our husbands, which helped us all out in the long run.
Amen to that.
Yes. He really was a rather good orator back then. I mean, he won all kinds of awards and trophies and ribbons and competitions. Yeah. And it made us so proud because he would get so excited at his accomplishments. I mean, on one occasion, he worked hard doing extra jobs and cutting lawns just to save up enough money to take us girls over to Irene's on Hall Street. Oh, yes.
Irene.
Yes. Oh, my goodness. But next time, don't press him so hard to read. He's been keeping that secret all his life. And I think cataracts is probably the best excuse he can come up with at this time.
Okay, well, Eddie Boo, I appreciate you telling me about this situation. I'll try to be more mindful to his condition.
Okay. You know what would be good that you could do to help him out since Mabel passed away?
What's that?
At the first of the month, just casually go by there and ask him if he needs any help with his bills and things. Until he gets that cataracts taken care of. I know that Mabel used to take care of all their bills and letters and stuff before she passed away. And I know that he is struggling with that right now.
Oh, Eddie Boo, I don't know. He might not be open to that idea.
Oh, I know he will, and with open arms. I know that he lost his most recent helpmate and secretary. It was our classmate, Delamay. She also used to help him with his speeches and poems in school.
What happened?
Oh, well, I heard from Sister Boswell.
Oh, Lord, more church gossip.
No, seriously, this is the truth. Our classmate, Delamay, was helping him with all of his business and things, and he kept trying to get fresh and frisky with her, trying to rekindle some old flames from back in the day. Now, you know, at their age, them old flames ain't nothing but cold ashes that have long since blown away. So she gave him a piece of her mind and told him that she was a married Christian woman and she would not be coming back anymore.
Yeah, I can see his predicament. Yeah, and that sounds just like it, too.
Yeah, that's Joe.
I tell you what I do. I'll go by there the first of the month. I mean, the next month, and see what I can do.
Okay.
All right? See what I can do for him. And if he try to get frisky with me, oh, I got a frisky fist for that left dyslexic eye here.
Oh, I don't think you'll have to worry about that with Joe. I don't think you're his type.
Oh.
oh, y'all been out there looking at pictures. Oh, nice. You looking at?
You touch this car.
Well, this is Mrs. Maureen Bailey from over there at Lincoln High School.
Yeah, that's her.
Oh, they had such a wonderful choir under her leadership.
Yeah, she was good.
Yes, I believe she named her choir after her favorite black composer, Harry T. Burleigh. You know, they went to Europe to sing one time.
Oh,
They sure
know
did.
that.
Mhm.
Well, where's my breakfast, woman?
Oh, it is probably cold as ice by now. You should come when I asked you to.
That's why I got you that new microwave oven.
Oh,
Miss
Alvin, the neighbors, catch hold of yourself. Your behavior is going to be the next gossip at Truly Church on Sunday morning.
You tell me which one of these hypocritical gossiping hens is helping us pay off this house.
You know what? I may have to stop you from socializing with that Joe. You're starting to come and act just like him.
Hey, that's not a bad thing.
Oh, yes, it is, no man.
Come on, children. Let's go over this song one more time. We are going out of the country, and I don't want you going over there singing flat like you did last week. We are the H.T. Burleigh Choir, and we have a reputation to uphold. Everybody just stand with your section. We're going to go over a little bit of Burleigh spiritual every time I feel the spirit before the bus comes to pick us up. Michael, Give us the proper pitch on the pitch pipe, please. That's wonderful, choir. You're going to do excellent when we get to Europe. It's not too pitchy and not too flat. That's the perfection I need to hear when we get overseas. Young man, help me down. Thank you. Now let's hurry along and get to the bus, young men and ladies. We have a plane to catch. Let's get on the bus and don't forget anything.
Bro, you're not trying to get it?
Everyone, take a look around and make sure you have everything. Michael!
Bro, what do I do now?
Come here. And sing just one verse of your solo for me. I know you will do well, but I just need to hear a little bit of it. I sometimes get a little anxious before getting on one of those aeroplanes, and your voice just calms my soul and spirit. Would you, please?
Yes, ma'am. Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom over me. And before I'll be a slave, I'll be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free.
You are going somewhere with that voice of yours. Come now. Let's hurry along.
No more auction block for me. No more auction block for me. No more auction block for me. Many thousand gone, and before I be a slave, I'll be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free. Old picture book. I am Anderson Bonham, and I reckon my picture wouldn't be in this picture book since I come long before their time. There weren't many of us slave people taking pictures during slavery. If any at all, I never saw none either. On occasion, a photographer would come by the house and take a picture of us sitting in front of the ground, in front of Master and Missus, to put in a book or paper to show the world how happy we Southern Texas Negroes was to be working for our owners. I reckon working between sun up till sun ain't there would have been no out of time for us to take a picture. That old slave master drove us so hard with work, picking cotton, farming and all, we didn't have time to make water. Neither did the woman for have time to give birth to master newborns in the fields. Soon as they dropped that baby, it was get up and get right back to work. Our lives was hard beyond your imagination. They say a picture worth 1,000 words, but they mighty short for a word for a slave like me. I sure have been 10 times more than that. I guess they want to take our picture. It'd have been too many words to read. But I can paint a picture in your mind. My mom and pop both were slaves, and even though I didn't know my pop, it wasn't for long for my mom disappeared in the night. I was just a young boy. A young slave, one was trying to look after me, we called Auntie. She did what she could between sun up and mostly after sundown, is what I take on selling chillin'. Later, she told me that my mom was sold up the river to another family. But let me tell you something. When our child, us chillin', we stayed in a separate quarter away from the grown folk, and we too had our shares of work to do. And we were sometimes giving food snuck out the big house, and when old Annie come to dump the waste and the scraps left over from master family dinner in a wood trough, oh, we all watched for her coming. And if you miss her coming, you was in the estate for a long longer next night or second night again. But my fate got some better when Miss Mahelda married Master Bunner. Master Bunner Pappy gave me away to the newlyweds as a gift. And Master Willis Bonner and Miss Mahelda, they moved to the farm, a new farm, and I started doing farm work. Sure did, and the house, it all started with a small log cabin, and they had dreams for the family to increase, but that never happened. My brother Lewis and I, see, we slept out in a makeshift by this big oak tree, about 4 or 5 other slaves that Master Bunny had already owned again from his pappy. And let me tell you something about the 2 older boys. The 2 of the older boys, they had building skill. By and by, built us a small cabin with the tree that was cleared out for farming. And they did it right before winter fell. Sure did. Then the night after work, we would go check the trap we set the night before to see what animals we had caught for supper. Sometimes we even go down to the river when the moonlight was high in the sky to catch some fishes. We sure did. Even if it was too dark, we couldn't see them gators or them moccasins. It was a dangerous task. Yeah, Master Bonner, he did feed us, but only if we had a good day of work. He'd feed us like rice and beans, and we also had a little garden right next to the cabin we lived in. But he never gave us any lean meat like chicken or pork. But let me tell you something. But during whole killing time, we can have the waist of the pig. We can have the head and the guts and the feet and the ears by somebody old auntie. Oh, auntie, she would boil all that down for us to eat. Yeah, Lord, that was a good eat right there, but it sure was. Even taking pity on her, old Annie, she would risk a thrashing just by giving her just a lead of the meat that was thrown in with the wrong garden scrap. Master Bonner, he died after a few years of marriage and they had no children. I recollect he died around 1849. And soon after that, Mama Hilda, she sold the land and packed up all her belongings onto the wagons with the help of her brother Master Peter. She drove one wagon and he the other, and they made way. Being such a thin woman, I never would man Mama Hilda had the strength to handle 2 horses and a wagon. Our job on this journey, my brother Lewis and I, we was to make Mama Hilda comfortable with her being bereavement and also to be on the lookout for any injury. My brother Lewis and I, we walked alongside that wagon all the way from Limestone, Alabama to Dallas, Texas. We sure did. Because look, we belong to Mama Hilda, but some law in Alabama wouldn't let Master Bunny or other slave come with her. And we never saw them again. No more auction block for me. No more auction block for me. No more auction block for me. Many thousand gone.
get your pistol.
Betty Boo, I keep my papa on me when we out here playing cards now. This growing drug epidemic, you can't trust nobody passing by. Oh, Betty Boo, that just look like a little lost key. You might need to get your eyes checked for that dyslexic like Joe got. He just look harmless.
So you say, hey boy, what you doing over there at that empty house?
My name is Henry.
Henry who? You got a last name? Who's your people? Come a little closer so I can see you. He doesn't look like he's from these parts of East Dallas.
Oh, well, you know, people can move around now any way they want. They coming and going from everywhere nowadays.
Elvin, look at him. Who does he look like to you? Ernie! Oh, the spit oven. I declare he must be one of them baker boys. Son, what'd you say your name was again?
My name is Henry Simpson. And my big mama.
Mama? Did your big mama have a last name?
Yes, ma'am. Her name is Mrs. Maple Leaf Ford. And she sent me over here to look for Miss Jelena Boykins. She said that she lives at this address and has a brother who is a scientist named Mr. Otis Boykins, who lives at this address at 2701 Hibernia.
Do you remember Jelena Boykins? She owned Jelena Boykins' House of Beauty over there on Oakland. Us ladies used to line up there on Saturday mornings to get her hair done for Sunday. Anyway, son, you have come to the correct address, but I hate to be the one to tell you that she doesn't live at that address anymore. Sister Boykins has a new address, God rest her soul. She's been gone for some time now to be with the Lord. She did have a beauty shop over this way, but Hibernia is over in North Dallas. What did you say your big mama's name was again?
Mrs. Maple Leaf Ford.
Do you remember a Maple Leaf Ford from around here?
I don't believe I do. But there was a Maple Leaf Simpson in our class at Booker T with us. She was a good-looking, high yellow girl with long black hair. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I remember all the fellas used to line up at the school dances to dance with Maple Leaf Simpson. Oh, she was a real looker and a high stepper. Oh, she was the best Lindy Hop dancer around. And all the fellas wanted a chance to throw her and swirl her and spin her around. black hair would hit you in the face when you were dancing. Oh, and the way those hips moved, and those silky dresses she wore. Ooh, wee!
Yeah, then take hold of yourself. I suppose that you were waiting in that line to spin and swirl with Maple Leaf Simpson and smell the sweet perfume coming from her hair.
Well, you know, I did like to dance.
That's her. That was my big mama's name before she married my papa. That's my last name too, Henry Simpson. My big mama has always lived in Uptown.
Uptown?
That's what the white folks are calling that short North Dallas up there in the State Thomas area.
Color folks are too, I see. Yes, I remember Maple Leaf. You know, I have not seen her since Sister Boykin's homegoing services. You know, Maple Leaf and I took arithmetic together from Professor C.F. Carr. Do you remember him, hon?
Oh, yeah. I remember Professor C.F. Carr. Yeah. Oh, he was a sharp dresser.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. He was always sharp as a razor. He's the reason why I dress as sharp as I do to this day. Yeah. But, of course, all of the professors and teachers were sharp dressers in those days, men and women. Oh, yeah. The professors' shoes were so shiny, you could see your reflection in them. Yes, indeed. They really taught us how to dress for success. Uh-huh.
Well, why did Maple Leaf send you all the way over here to look for Sister Boykins? Surely she knows she's been gone for some time now, and if I remember correctly, Maple Leaf sang at her homegoing services.
She said Miss Boykins had a brother who was a scientist named Otis Boykins, who could help her with a heart condition or let her know where to find a black doctor who could. Her doctor says she's gonna need one of those pacemakers soon.
Oh, yeah, Joe and I were just talking about Otis Boykins this morning.
My big mama says that her doctors didn't know any other black doctors in Dallas to recommend, and that she should look him up for a reference since she didn't have any trust in the white doctors around here. Her mother had the same condition, and she said the white doctors didn't do anything to save her.
Well, son, that sounds like a sad situation, and I'm gonna put the word out.
She means talk to her gossiping church sisters when she said that.
And I'm going to find out if they have some information of where he may be, because the last I heard he was over there up north. Now, you come back here tomorrow, and I may have some information for you. And Osie will be back from work soon, and she may know something also.
You know, Mrs. Boykins she has a son who's a jazz musician, and he plays at around town at all the little special events and all. And I think he's a teacher at Booker T. What school do you say you go to, son?
I go to Booker T. Washington High School for the Performing and Visual Arts, BTWHSPVA, and I'm studying to be a dancer.
Oh.
And go to Juilliard next fall.
Hey, well, your big mama. Oh, she was a real high stepper and could really cut the rug.
What are you doing?
Yeah, she always knew how to do all the latest dances. And sing, oh, she sang like a mockingbird. Oh, she would be right proud of you following in her tradition of going to dancing and going to Juilliard. I heard that's one of the best art school around.
Cut the rug? I don't know that one. But she did teach me the Lindy Hop before she got too sick. And I do it quite well. I even taught it to my classmates when the teacher let us do our cultural dances one day. But I hadn't heard of that dance you mentioned, Cut the Rug. How does that one go?
Well, son, if you went to Booker T. Washington High School for over there on Florida Street, the answer is right underneath your nose, and you won't have to come all the way over here tomorrow. Just go down to the main office, if that's what they're still calling it these days, and ask where is Mr. Roger Boykin's class, and then he can tell you how to get in contact with his uncle.
His uncle?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's dope. I didn't know we had a famous teacher at our school. I can't wait to tell Big Mama that the scientist Mr. Boykin's nephew teaches at my school. Cool.
Well, little Henry, all your problems are solved. Yeah. Now, you be sure to tell your big mama that Biggie LV said hello.
Yes, sir. Will do.
One more thing, little Henry. You tell your big mama that Mrs. Biggie Elby sends her best wishes also. You can go now.
Yes, ma'am. You guys are the dopest.
Booker T. Washington
High School for the Visual and Performing Arts.
changing the name of the Booker T High School. Or at least ask us what we thought about the name change.
Oh, well, maybe they did and we just didn't get the memo. But that Uptown was news to me. I mean, how do they come up with the name of Uptown when it's right next door to downtown?
Yeah.
That would make no sense.
That beats me. What is he talking about? He said we are dope. What does he think we doing? Drugs? Does he think we on dope?
No. I think it's kind of like how we would say the cat's meow. I mean, I was teaching a Sunday school lesson a while back, and when I got to the part about how Jesus turned water into wine, one of those teenagers jumped up and yelled, "That's dope, Sis Frazier."
That is dope. I drink to that.
If that wasn't so true, I would think you were on the fence of being blasphemous, Mr. Biggie Elder.
Boy, he looks so much like Ernie till it's uncanny.
That Ernie was a good-looking fella in high school. Ooh, wait! He had all the girls' attention.
What?
I don't know when he had time to play baseball. Or maybe he had time to go to the Lindy Hop dances, dance with Maple Leaf Simpson. And by the way, one other thing, Mr. Biggie Elder. Since we are in review of Little Henry's Big Mama, when did you have time to go to those dances and cut the rug with Maple Leaf Simpson? I mean, every time I asked you to go to those dances, you told me that you were busy developing pictures with Anderson Studio.
Oh, but here comes your church-going sister, Lucy May.
Yes, it is, but we will have this discussion later on tonight. Hey, OC, your feet must be some kind of tired.
Oh, man, you psychic. How'd you know?
I heard your dogs barking when you turned the water.
Here, let me see. I got that quick wit to lift the colored girl spirits up after a hard day's work.
Oh, well, you just go on inside and get freshened up before the fellas come back tonight. I have made a fresh pitcher of lemonade just for you, and it is on the kitchen table.
Thank you.
Also, I bought some perfume from Neiman Marcus, and like, it is out of sight. But like the kids would say, it's dope. and they say it is from Paris, France. You go on and put a little dab behind here. It's on the vanity behind the door.
Girl, thank you so much, sister. You know what a woman needs after a hard day like I spent with Miss Mabel, honey. I'll see you again.
Okay, and Joe's going to be coming back tonight, too. Also, do you remember Maple Lee Simpson from back at school? Her grandson came by today and said that she was doing rather poorly. Maple Lee Simpson.
Girl, yeah, I remember her. She was a great dancer. And she used to come to all the dances. And girl, the boys were right up to dance with her. You know, she had that high yellow skin tone working for her. Oh, she was kind. Oh, I wish her well. Elvin. Now, Elvin, you ought to remember her. Elvin, you used to dance with Mabel, honey. Elvin, I know you remember her. Honey, Elvin used to keep her on the dance floor. I know you remember her. Baby, I'm going to have me a toddy. Would you like one too, sweetheart?
Yes, and make mine a double if you would please. Thank you.
Okay, I'll be right back.
Now, Betty, haven't you had enough of playing matchmaker and Cupid?
I will when you have enough of Maple Lee Simpson.
Betty, that was over 40 years ago when we were still in high
Yeah,
school.
and that 40-year lie caught up with you today and was revealed 4 seconds ago. When little Henry was telling his story, I saw that same twinkle in your eye that you had when you met me.
Betty, fool, now, man.
Look who's here. It's my favorite
Hey.
buttercup. Hey, how you doing? Oh, it is so good to see you once more and again. Oh, and I'm so glad that you came out tonight because the weather is just perfect for you to sit a spell with us. Oh, we have sorely been missing you.
Well, thank you. It's good to see you,
It's
brother.
her only mother-in-law.
Yeah, that's right. See right there.
Thank you, darling. Well, you know how this humid March night air affects these old knees. That old Arthur and the springtime night air just don't always get along with my knees so well. Every spring and in rainy weather, that old dreadful Arthur comes knocking on my knees. Ooh. Oh, Betty, it's so good to see my favorite daughter-in-law.
Well, I'm going to go inside and get you a nice cool drink of lemonade. I made some just for you.
Okay,
now,
darling.
would you go over there and get that stool for her feet and then give her that warm coat, throw over her shoulders. I will be right back.
All right, baby.
Her favorite mother-in-law? You're her only mother-in-law. Mom, don't you know Betty is just bullshitting you?
Well, really, Catherine, if you want my own daughter, I'd say you're acting like a jealous, grown child. And besides, if it is bullshit, I like it. And it wouldn't hurt you none to learn how to spread a little of it yourself. Now, Betty she reminds me of myself when I married your father. My mother Mary died when I was just a young girl. And when I married your father, oh, I was thrilled to have a mother figure in my life, though I was yet a grown woman. I guess this special treatment is the good Lord's way of repaying me back for the love I showed my dear mother-in-law.
Yeah. You know, I think Willie Captain just had it in for my Betty Boo ever since we got married. She never could get over the idea that she stole her big brother away from her.
Now, Elvin, you know that's not the truth. I've been put out with Betty ever since she lied and told all my friends that I have a TV. I had to go get the test to show and prove to people that I didn't have TV. And it took a long time after that before my friends would even want to come around me. And she had the nerve of her to never fess up to her venomous lies that she done told. Mama, Daddy, isn't that right, Mama? You have gone away to honor. You had no idea the evil that that woman had inflicted on me.
Evil.
She also said that.
Would anyone like some cool lemonade?
I will, dear.
Oh, okay. There you go, Mother Kate.
Yes,
There you
thank
go.
you.
Willie Catherine, you look parched. Would you like some too?
No, thank you.
Oh, okay.
Hello, everybody.
And Mother Catherine, let me adjust this stool for you. And rub your feet.
Oh, Betty, you're just the kindest daughter in law that a mother could have. Is that Miss Julia Stott and Miss Dickie Smalley from the Morning News? They're coming this way.
Well, yes, it is. They're the only two Negro women that would be out this time of night doing their news and everything. Hey, girls, how you doing?
Hey, baby! We're trying to get downtown to get this news for you deadline, so we can't stop chatting.
Well, I hope you'll make it to our Juneteenth celebration coming up in a few months.
Oh, we really miss it. Take care.
All right, take care. Love you.
Love you too.
Oh, thank you. Do you remember Julia, Mother Kate?
Oh, I remember all the young girls from this neighborhood. I have followed Julia's story. She was one of the few Dallas natives who didn't take their talents and flee the city. She stayed right here and became the first colored woman to join the Dallas Morning News staff.
Really?
With her own column, The Open Line. Oh, We were so proud that one of our own had made it to the top of the news world. We finally had someone to keep us in the know of what was going on in the world.
Well, you know that Dickie Foster wasn't second to none either. She wasn't from here, but you would have thought it. I mean, when she came to Dallas, she took it by storm. I'll say that she was a real go-getter, and I may say also a real entrepreneur. You know, she took over that record store owned by Mrs. McGowan over there on the corner of Thomas and Hall Street. And then she opened up her own record shop. And she was the first Negro woman to host her own radio show, and it was called Jazz at the Philharmonic. Oh, yeah. And then she did leave for a short while, but when she came back, she was a shareholder with the Post-Star publication. They later changed it to the name, or she later changed it to the name of the Post-Tribune. Well, Julia was a great reporter. I don't know what she didn't do. You know what? It would be easier for me to tell you what she didn't do than tell you what she did do.
No, that Julia is a bad woman. You know, I'm so proud of all of you young women breaking barriers and doing things I could only have dreamed of doing at your age.
Gene!
Oh, man, why you throw the cards on there? You cheated. No, I ain't cheated.
Well, Betty, it's been lovely visiting you for a while, but it's time for this old lady to be going in.
Well, I know you must be fit a little tired, but you know what? You just keep this throw to keep you warm when you're walking home tonight.
Thank you, dear. Lily Catherine, it's time we were leaving.
Yes, Mother dear, it is.
Hello, Elaine. How you doing, hon?
Betty, you know that white woman from?
I hope you'll come to our Juneteenth celebration coming up. She's not white. She went to school with us at Booker T. Don't you remember Elaine Suber from school?
No, I don't remember no white woman going to school with us.
I told you she's not white. She's just as colored as the rest of us. She's just lighter than most colored people. You probably don't remember her because she was in the morning class and we had the evening shift. And then she went over to Lincoln High School when they split us up.
Perhaps that's it. Well, she's dull and thick in the head.
Oh,
That girl looks peculiar.
oh well, Joe, she had a hard row to hoe because of her color. I mean, she was so light that she really didn't fit in with her own race, and then the white people rejected her too.
Well, you know, her mother Elsie and I were close friends for many years. Oh, her mother was so distraught when Elaine left and got married to some white man in New York. She decided to pass for white and didn't reveal her identity as a colored woman to her new husband. She told him her whole family died when she was a little girl and that she was raised at an orphanage here in Dallas.
Well, she's been back for some time now, but she keeps to herself. I don't think she'll be making it to the Juneteenth celebration.
Now, wait a minute. And didn't she have a son?
Oh, yes,
I thought so.
she had a son, and that was the beginning of her heartache. I think Elaine was in New York for maybe 3 years or so before coming back to live with her mother. She had the most beautiful, blue-eyed, high yellow baby boy I'd ever seen. Oh, but the sad part of the story is that when the baby was born, he was darker than the father thought he should be. So he accused Elaine of being unfaithful, said she must have had an affair with a single colored man that lived in their apartment. Oh, she was between a rock and a hard place. She couldn't tell her husband the truth without being beaten to death.
I mean, she just as well as told. They say that he nearly beat her to 1 inch of her life. 1 inch. And threw her, the baby, and all these things out in the streets in the cold winter.
Poor thing. Some of the neighbors took mercy upon her until she was able to gather enough money to move back home. Oh, Elsie was so glad to see her baby back home and safe. And you know she adored and spoiled that little blue-eyed devil Rodney.
Oh, yes, she did, and he's smart, and he's gone off to college now. But just like his mother, he ain't been back, and she hadn't heard from him since he left.
Well, Elsie thinks that he followed in his mother's footsteps by passing.
Oh.
Must be a hard life to live, to have to deny who you are, your family, your culture, but most of all, your family.
Yes, indeed. But many since slavery times have taken big risks and made great sacrifices to cross that colored line. All the girls at school used to be so jealous of her.
I hope it's not because she's almost white.
Mother, of course not. You know I'm proud of my beautiful colored skin tone.
That's right, lady. You're just beautiful.
Woo.
Now y'all get me upset here.
Well, then why? Why were they jealous?
We was jealous of Elaine because she can go to the state fair any day that she wanted to by passing as white.
Oh, well, she could.
We had to wait until colored days come.
Yeah.
But Elaine would come back. And she would tell us all about the latest kitchen gadgets and the beautiful dresses and things. Yeah. Nice.
I heard a true story similar to Elaine right here in Dallas. See, there was this real fair-skinned colored man. And he was on his way to the State Theater with his lady friend. Now, she was a dark, brown-skinned woman. Now, these two white officers passing by, and they saw him holding the door for his lady friend to get out by the car. The officers approached him, and he asked the man what he was doing in this neighborhood with a colored woman. Now, they tried to explain to the officers that he was colored, but the officers weren't trying to hear it. Oh, they said that may be true, but they didn't want it to appear that somebody that looked as white as them would be caught in this kind of neighborhood with a Negro woman.
Oh.
They told him he had to get out of town right then and there. Yeah, they told him if he didn't make haste and get out of town, they're going to have their boys come and swing him from the nearest tree.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Told him he would either leave Dallas and not come back. If they ever caught him in that part of town again, he was going to be hanging on the end of a rope. Told him to head north and never come back to Dallas again.
That's sad.
And that man got in that car and he left his lady friend.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah. The officers followed him out of the city, all the way out there past Richardson, Texas, before they turned around and come back.
Wow. Well,
Later on, I heard that he did come back to Dallas. Yeah. He moved over here to East Dallas. He never set foot in that short North Dallas again.
I bet he didn't.
well, everybody, it's been lovely visiting with you. But it's time for this old lady to really be leaving this time.
All right.
That old Arthur is messing with my knees again.
All right, Mother Kate.
All right, thank you, baby.
Well, you be careful.
It's so good to see you both.
You too.
And Betty, you make sure you feed my son.
Oh, I feed him very well, Mother Kate.
All right, all right.
And good night, Willie Catherine.
Bye, hope to see you tomorrow, Mother Kate. Sure.
I am that same Anderson Bonner, a former slave and later became a prominent member of my community. After the abolition of slavery in 1865 in Texas, my brother Lewis and I registered to vote in Precinct 5, Dallas County in 1867. By 1870, I acquired 25 acres of land and established homes along our former slaveholder, Miss Mahelda. Over the years, I purchased over 3,000 acres of land along both sides of the White Rock Creek, along the park between Forest Lane and LBJ Freeway and other nearby areas. I worked as a farmer and lived with my wife Eliza and 9 children. Unfortunately, a fire occurred and my dear wife Eliza died in that fire. I later remarried and built my second home near where you see Medical City Hospital today. The northeast portion of Coit Road housed one of the first schools for colored children in North Texas and was named the Anderson Bonner School in my honor. That school operated until the 1954 opening of the Hamilton Park School. Over the years, much of my land was used by the surrounding community for hunting, fishing, swimming, and particularly the Juneteenth family celebrations, which I freely share to enjoy with others. Now it is called the Anderson Bonner Park. A free man of color, Mr. Henry Highland Garnet, spoke at the 1843 National Convention of Colored Freemen, reflected a more keen view of slavery that is much different than the picture white slave owners painted. And he stated,
"227 years ago, the first of our injured race were brought to the shores of America. And they came not with glad spirits to select their homes in the New World. They came not with their own consent to find an unmolested enjoyment of the blessings of this fruitful soil. The first dealings that they had with men calling themselves Christians exhibited to them the worst features of corrupt and sordid hearts, and convinced them that no cruelty is too great, no villainy, no robbery too abhorrent for even enlightened men to perform when influenced by avarice and lust. Neither did they come flying upon the wings of liberty to a land of freedom, but they came with broken hearts from their beloved native land and were doomed to unrequited toil and deep degradation. Nor did the evil of their bondage end at their emancipation by death. Succeeding generations have inherited their chains. Millions have come from eternity into time and have returned again to the world of spirits cursed and ruined by American slavery.
Betty Boo, you heard from Joe?
Yes, I have, and you need to get ready.
Get ready for what?
We've been invited to Joe's wedding ceremony down at the courthouse today, and then we need to get back to start setting up for the Juneteenth celebration this evening.
What wedding? How come you didn't tell me he was getting married?
When have you ever wanted to be a part of church gossip? And besides, they were keeping it a secret, and it was not my secret to tell. And I guess that with all the excitement, Joe forgot to tell you.
So who he married?
Oh, see.
What? Oh, I thought they couldn't stand the sight of each
Oh,
other.
that was all part of the show, so people would know that they were courting each other.
Oh. That don't beat off. No wonder he hadn't needed my bookkeeping services lately. He told me he got rid of his cataracts. Yeah.
You fell for that.
You know what? I should have known something was up with that because I know he didn't even have cataracts. And you knew too, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
So that little rascal. You know, I'm gonna give him a taste of this fist when I see him. Tell me, his best friend, that he was getting married?
Well, hon, you will have plenty of time for that later. But right now, you need to get ready and shake a leg because we need to get going. You know, the the lovebirds are getting married downtown at the courthouse by the Justice of the Peace. Because they've both been married before and they want something quick and simple. Hon, go get your Sunday coat. We have so much to do today. Oh my goodness. And go out to the car and turn on the air conditioner. I do not want to be soaking wet when I get downtown.
Why would they plan a wedding in this heat? And on Juneteenth of all days. That was nice.
Yeah, it was so nice. That cake was good too. I really liked that.
That buttercream.
Oh, hey everybody!
Hey y'all!
I am so glad to see all of y'all come out for our Juneteenth celebration. Oh, with everything that's going on, I didn't know if I was going to have enough hands to help me get this done today. I am so glad to see y'all. You know what? You guys look parched in this awful heat. I'm going to go get you cats something cool to drink.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and help these fellas over here with this grill. All right, hey. All right. Hey, little Henry. Hey, how's your big mama doing? hey, the plug is right over here, at the corner of this house, right here. Is she? Oh, that's good news. And she would have to be coming to the celebration.
No, sir. She said she better not push her luck by being out here in this heat today.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, you make sure you tell her that Big Man Elvis said hello.
Yes, sir. Good.
All right now.
Oh, just go ahead and set it on the table, and then come over here and help me, son.
Really?
Now, ain't you Ava's son? Oh, I have heard so many good things about you and that voice of yours. Hon, we have so many talented young men and ladies around here that I think we have enough people to start a play or something, like that one we saw over at the Majestic.
Oh, yeah, see, Betty Boo, I think you on something there. A Cabin in the Sky with Lena Horne. Oh, man, hey, that was a good day in Dallas to see the Horne in person, live.
Little Henry, come over here and help me with this. I want you to help straighten out this bow. And then just make sure it's clean, and then because we're going to set it up for the newlyweds to jump over at the Juneteenth celebration.
Why would they want to do that?
Well, it's a tradition from old slavery times. That's how our people used to get married. And it will fit right in with our celebration today. So I think it's as good a day as any to do it. Jimmy, when you're finished with that, would you go inside and get those 2 trays of chickens off the counter?
Hey, fellas.
Hey.
Hey, Willie Catherine.
We're doing great.
Doing good, mighty good.
Hey, you know your best buddy, Joe and OC, got married this afternoon. Oh, yeah, we'll manage. You know, our ancestors had it worse than this, picking cotton. And they didn't have the luxury of a cool drink.
You know, you made a point on that one. I'm sure it's going to be a little cooler later after the sun sets. Hey, Mama is excited about coming this evening.
Oh, that's good.
Lord.
Hey, Alvin, why didn't you tell me that O.C. and Joe were getting married?
They was keeping it a secret from everybody. Well, almost everybody. Miss Matchmaker had to know.
Hey, Betty. Is there anything that I can help you with before I go home and make sure Mama's ready?
Well, if you could finish prepping the watermelon, that would be so much help, and then we can finish everything else up. Okay, everyone, it's time to get going. We need to be back in time for the newlyweds because they have a plane to catch to get out of here, and then we need to be here because they want to announce to everyone that they got married and give their farewells. Or should I say aloha? Oh, well, that is just perfect. Oh, okay, you guys go along so you can get back for the celebration in time. And you be sure and tell your big mama Maple Leaf that she will surely be missed.
Yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell her how to go officers. See you all later.
All right, hey, see you. Hey, you guys, I can go ahead and take it from here. All right.
I will be back in the gym.
Yes.
See you later. See you later.
All right. Hey, y'all have a good one now. Hey, Hickman, RC.
Hey, Frazier, I will see you all at the big event tonight.
Oh, that's all I wanted to hear from you. Make sure you bring your camera now.
You know, 2 newspaper keys coming along with me. Julie and Nikki.
Well, that's all right there. That's good. That's nice. Yeah. Hey, bring your buddy Marion Butts with you. You know, just in case things get a little too much for you to handle. Hey, I'll see you then. Yeah. Betty Boo, where's the fixing for these hot dogs?
They're in the refrigerator, and I'll get to them in a minute.
All right, hey, that's all right. I'll go in there and get them.
Evening, Betty.
Oh, hey, Willie Catherine and Mother Kate.
Hello, darling.
Y'all are early, but that's okay. I'll get to spend a little extra time with Mother Kate and have a little more help.
Where do you want me to sit, baby?
You can just sit right here.
Right here? All
yes. Well, whatever is the matter, huh?
Betty, I am sorry. I am so sorry for the way that I treated you and despised you all of these years.
Oh, I understand. You've been angry with me since I took away your big brother, but I would be upset too if somebody married my big brother and best friend and took him away. I mean, I've seen it from women all the time.
Betty, just stop it. Just stop it right now. You know that's not the truth. Mama told me everything. Mama told me the truth about what you did when you learned that the TB was spreading and that I'm the one who had the TB. Mama said that it was Helen, my very best friend, Helen, who spread that evil rumor that I had TB and that it was not you. Mama said that she was home in the kitchen and she overheard the entire conversation when Helen came to the house in tears. And Helen told you that she knew that we would no longer be friends if I found out that she was the one who told everybody that rumor that I had TB. Mama said that Helen was beside herself. And you told Helen. And you told Helen to tell everyone that she gotten the information from you in order to save our friendship. Oh, Betty, I'm sorry. I am so sorry, Betty. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Mother Kate, why? You did not have to do that.
Betty, yes, I did. Now, I've always known you to be the salt of the earth. But it was time for the truth to be told. Now, Helen been dead now for 5 years. 5 years. And I'm old and wise enough to know that I'm not far behind her trail. I would not have been able to be at peace knowing I didn't do everything I could do to make peace between the two of you, my only 2 daughters, by leaving that ugly rumor and lie of secret that's been keeping you two from sharing the love you need to give to each other.
Oh.
Betty!
Let me in here.
Oh my. Oh.
Did somebody die?
Hey now.
Oh, hey, Ray, that's good to see you. Oh, look, everyone, the newlyweds are here.
Look at, listen, I'd like to introduce to everyone Mr. and Mrs. Joe Johnson.
Okay, well, let's get some refreshments so we can have a toast to the newlyweds. O.C., did you remember your bouquet?
Yeah, right.
Okay, good. I have the jumping broom, and Will and Catherine is going to get the drinks. Now, hold on a second. O.C., now, you need to make sure that Willie Catherine catches the bouquet, because I'm going to let the girls know that it's Willie Catherine who's supposed to catch the bouquet.
Betty Frazier, are you trying to plan another wedding?
I don't see you complaining now, do I?
Oh, no, ma'am. No, indeed. I got the full package. Thank you, Jesus.
Praise the Lord.
Well, I'm going to run and get with Willie Catherine so we can get these drinks. And then we're going to come back and toast your newlywed stuff and say, bon voyage.
Oh, congratulations. Congratulations, man. Oh, right. All right. Hey, Joe. Look, here comes Hickman and Julia.
How you doing, fellas?
Doing good. How you
All right. Good to see y'all.
Nice to see you again.
All right. How you doing,
Good
Julia?
to see you.
All right. How you doing, RC? All right. Hey, where's Dickie?
Well, the morning news called her out for a news story out there in Mahia. It seems that there was some kind of tragedy at their Juneteenth celebration in Comanche Crossing. As much as I gathered of what happened, some teenage boys was drowned on a boat while in the custody of white officers. She should be back tonight, or maybe even tomorrow, with the whole story.
Oh, that is so sad.
Yes.
Now, I hope they get to the bottom of what happened.
Julia, come over here and tell these people how to practice when you have answers.
Oh, I tell you, I had never been so frightened in my entire natural life. I just knew RC was going to be killed, and me along with him.
You see, I had been called by the NAACP to take a picture of this hanging effigy in front of the school. Now, they wanted a picture before they were to come the following week to investigate. NAACP had just started the attempt to force Mansfield High School to integrate with a few Negro children.
Well, RC had just bought that brand new 56 Chevy, and I was in my new satin outfit with the navy blue shoes, rhinestone bows on the top. I tell you, we were the sharpest things on the road.
Anyway, we hurried on to Mansfield, and when we got there, you could see from a distance the school with the hanging figure and a noose around his head. all the way from the pitch of the roof to the second floor. So far out in the country, there's hardly nothing around the farmland. Now, I parked about 200 yards away from the school to keep it being too noticeable of the scene, you see. I jumped out of the car and ran to get a picture as quick as I could. After all, we were colored in a white man's territory.
Well, when R.C. jumped out of the car, I was right on his heels. It wasn't until I got halfway there that I realized I'd forgotten my pen for my note-taking. So as R.C. was moving in ever so closely to take a picture of that hanging dummy right there in the main entryway of the school, I had turned to go get my pen when I heard someone say, "Hey, boy, what you doing out there?" Oh. And then there was a gunshot.
Oh, my.
I looked to see where the gunshot came from or where R.C. was, and there, in overalls, were these 3 white rednecks in the distance running our way. So, as I wanted to make sure R.C. was okay, I could see R.C. running right past me.
R.C.
As I began to run, I got my rhinestone shoes stuck in the mud. As I finally got that shoe unstuck, I said, "Feet, don't you fail me now!" And I got out of there as fast as I could.
The call already started.
Yeah,
I didn't know
okay.
Julie could run so fast with just one shoe on. Ain't that Jesse Owens fella ain't had nothing on her.
Yeah, right.
Well, as soon as she jumped in the car, we heard 2 more gunshots. We did not wait to see if they were aiming at us. I must have burned it into rubber trying to get out of there.
I had never been so frightened. And I couldn't believe R.C. left me without a word of warning. Anyway, we were able to get out of harm's way.
So we thought. And by the time we got to the highway, I looked up out of the rearview mirror and here come these crackers in this old beat-up 1940s pickup.
And they still coming.
Just as we were getting onto the freeway. Then I heard another gunshot. And that's when I put the pedal to the metal, man. They chased us all the way back into Dallas. Now we were able to lose them when we got off the freeway and ducked off into this open McGowan funeral garage. You know, also the homeowner. He's a good friend of mine. I was scared, man.
So
I knew he wouldn't mind.
you did the right thing.
We must have sat there for 2 hours. It was dark before we came out of hiding.
You know, the good thing about it all, though, is I was able to get my picture. You know, the NAACP had evidence of racism and had to send in federal troops to resolve the ongoing conflicts to get schools in Mansfield integrated.
You did a good thing. You know, enough of this Jim Crow slavery talk. Look, we are here to celebrate Juneteenth, y'all. Juneteenth, all right? And my good friend Joe and OC's wedding.
That's so true.
Come on.
All right, everybody, let's get a drink so we can do a celebratory toast to the newlyweds. They have a plane to catch to Hawaii. Yeah, they're going to Hawaii.
All right, listen. To two of the luckiest people to ever find love in their golden years. Betty Boo and I are honored to know both of you. Yo, so cheers and congratulations to many years to come.
Congratulations.
We would like to thank you all for your well wishes. Oath and I decided to get married on Juneteenth so that every year on Juneteenth, we'll be able to celebrate our wedding anniversary with our family and friends. Now, I would like to recite a poem to you that I learned in school, and it goes like this. Love is all around you. There's plenty of love to spare. You cannot see or touch it, but love is everywhere. Love is the greatest power, yet it is so small. Love is a gift from God to be shared amongst us all. That's a poem by John P. Reed, and it's entitled, A Gift from God.
Oh, that's my buddy right there.
All right.
All right, let's jump this.
Here we go.
All right. See y'all.
Oh, darling. Oh, I'm so happy
Thank you for everything.
You're so welcome.
Okay.
You have fun in Hawaii, girl.
That's right. Hey, we'll see y'all. Bye now. Yo, be careful of them hips now,
Well,
y'all.
they're all mine, man. They're all mine now.
Hey, Ben, you know how to throw one of the best parties and honeymoon send-off that a person could ever ask for.
Oh, thank you.
You know what? I just hope mine be just as grand.
Well, we will. I mean, I know the Lord will send you the perfect husband. I know
You think
that.
so? Oh, thank you.
All right.
Oh, thank you.
Little Henry, you and your family, your friends and crew, go on over to Griggs Park to the celebration. Elvin and I will finish this up here.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right. Take it easy.
everything was really dope.
And you were the dopiest DJ we've ever had.
You know, Betty Boo, they ought to make Juneteenth a national holiday.
Oh, that would be such an honor after all we've been through in this country as a people. But I don't think we're going to see that in our lifetime.
Well, everybody, it's time for this old lady to meet my arthritis starting to act up on me. Come on, take care.
All right. Bye, Mama.
Oh, you're so welcome. It's so good to see you. So glad you could come. Thank you.
Hey, I want to thank you too for your gracious hospitality and a wonderful evening.
Oh, you are welcome.
Hey, you know, Elvin, just like you, I've taken thousands of pictures all over Dallas. You know, I've shot photo scenes of our people living in the segregated slums of West Dallas, East Dallas, over there in the State Thomas area. You know, for a decade now, I've had the privilege of taking pictures of many famous Negro entertainers, sports figures, political people, and so forth. Just people coming to Dallas trying to make a living. But Elvin, when I would look through the lens of my camera, just for a moment before I would say, look this way, smile, you know, I could almost see into their souls. In their eyes, I could see sadness, sometimes anger. Sometimes I see a little bit of happiness in the children's eyes. You know, but one thing that I saw in all of their eyes was hope. You know, I knew and experienced that hope. It was the hope that the Negro life would change for the better. Yeah. And we would have equal opportunities for ourselves and our children.
That's all we want. That's all we want.
My picture is to take some of all of that and then some. Really look closer into the eyes. I think that's why they say a picture's worth 1,000 words.
They do.
No, but my pictures, all of my pictures, only show a fraction of the Negro life. I don't think some white people have a clue, or even once remember, what we have been through and go through on a day-to-day for the years and decades.
And you know what? That's because only half our stories ain't never been told.
So right on that. Thank you, girl. Have a good night.
All right.